Hello, lovely people. Good to have you here. So, on our Hooked series titled Relationship Builder, Pastor Kingsley Okonkwo ministered on this day. Trust me when I say you are going to learn a lot. So, sit back, relax, make sure you watch till the end, get your paper and pen because you're going to write down a whole lot and you're going to learn a whole lot on how to make your marriage last, make your marriage enjoyable and loving. Enjoy as you watch.
Pulls through the transitional stages of relationship building to marriage and success in marriage. Kingsley Okonkwo is a presidential member of the American Association of Christian Counselors, a board certified master Christian life coach, a certified relationship counselor. He is also an advanced certified marriage and family life coach. He has authored numerous books on relationships, a few of which he co-authored with his lovely wife and partner in ministry, Pastor Mildred, and they are blessed with adorable children. The King's Assembly. Let's make welcome Pastor Kingsley Okonkwo.
Hey, hello there, everybody. I'm so glad to be speaking at Hooked 2025. I don't know how old this conference is now because, it has just, I know they've been hooked for almost every year, February, and I'm so happy, and I want to commend my good friends, Pastor Chris and Pastor Yemisi Ogo, for the consistency of doing this particular conference year in, year out. I don't know how many years it has been now, but I know that for as long as I can remember, I've either seen the flyers or been a speaker at the Hooked conference. So I'm happy to be here, Hooked 2025. I trust everybody's having a good time. I can't wait to share fellowship with you guys physically again very soon. So, hey, we're in February. It's generally love season, and it's a good period to talk again about strengthening families and strengthening marriages. Today, I'm speaking about saving your marriage in 2025. Saving your marriage in 2025. Well, there are two kinds of ways you can save your marriage. There is the marriage that is in crisis, that might need saving. In that kind of case, I'll suggest you get, a therapist, a counselor, or talk to your pastors. Somebody can help you at that stage if you are at a critical stage. But today, I want to try to talk to those that are not in a critical stage yet, but can avert being in a critical stage. I'll start by saying that those of you that follow us on social media, particularly, you would know that we have been on tour for a while. I discussed this with your pastors a few years ago. Last time I was there physically, how that we sensed in our heart that God was calling us to travel around the world, teach some of these teachings we do on marriages and relationships all over the world. And we have been literally around the world. But one thing I noticed as we were traveling is that, for instance, when we did the Canada tour, or got into Canada, people met us and said, Pastor Kingsley, thank you for coming to Canada. That Canada has the worst divorce rates. Thank you for coming. That so many marriages are failing here. This is the worst place. Marriages are facing the worst times in marriages and all that. All that. So we did about 10. Now we've done about 10 cities or thereabouts in Canada. And then we went to the United States. And they told us the same. They said, thank you for coming to the United States. Marriages are failing so much here. This is where all the marriages are failing. This way it is worse than any other place in the world. Thank you for coming. And this, so we did under maybe 10 cities thereabout, or more than 10 now, maybe 12, And we went to the UK. And they told us exactly the same thing, that this is the place where the worst marriages are failing the most here in the UK and all that. Thank you for coming to help marriages. And we did maybe under 7 or 8 cities, including Scotland, including Ireland. Then we went to Australia. And they told us the same thing, that thank you for coming to Australia, that this is where the worst marriages, that Google it, that should Google it, that will see, is the worst. And I said, they've told me the same thing everywhere I've gone to. So it just dawned on me that marriages are actually struggling everywhere. I'm sure if you check there in Port Harcourt, someone's going to feel like, oh, marriages are failing here in Port Harcourt. No, it is because there is a general pressure on marriages. There's a general pressure on marriages all around the world. And thank God for a conference like this. I'm trusting God that yours will not be among the statistics, will not be among the negative statistics. Because as much as marriages are failing everywhere in the world, there are also marriages succeeding everywhere in the world. And yours will not be in the negative statistics in the name of Jesus. All right. And that's what I want to focus on today as I teach how you will strengthen and save your own marriage from the crisis going on in the world, from the crashing of marriages around the world. Yours will make it, yours will stand the test of time, and you will not just survive, but you will thrive. All right? There's a big difference. Your marriage will not just survive, but it will thrive, it will blossom, it will flourish in the name of Jesus. All right. So talk about saving your marriage in 2025. There's this interesting story I always share. How that I and my wife on one of these our trips, we're on the plane, and this particular airline we're flying, there's a barricade blocking the two seats, in between the seats. So they do that in case you're not traveling with the other person. That way you can have your privacy. But we were traveling together, so we wanted to communicate and see each other. So we noticed there was a down button, up and down button at both sides, but we're pressing it, and somehow the barricade was not going down. So I had to call the air hostess and be like, hey, how can we get this barricade down so that we can see each other? Oh, the lady said it's very simple, that both of you have to press the down button at the same time. You have to press it together at the same time for the barricade to come down. I said, oh, okay, good. I'm a very curious person, so I asked, how do you get it up? Oh, she said, only one person can press the up button for it to go up. And it was just a light bulb moment for me. It was a revelation for me. It just dawned on me that for companionship, for intimacy, for connection to happen, the two people must be intentional and synchronized. But for the wall to go up, for the marriage to fail, just one person can actually crash it. One person can make it fail. Now, it just dawned on me. It takes two people cooperating together for it to work, but for it to fail, we don't even need two people. One person can make it fail. And it means that for marriage to work, it's an intentional effort. Because for both of us to be, press it down at the same time and everything, we need to be intentional. That means I need to let the other person know that let's press this thing down. And we both need to agree that we're pressing it down now. So to succeed takes intentionality, but to fail, just takes carelessness of one person. And that's my message for you today in this series. That's where I want to start from. The key word to save your marriage this year and even in every year to come is the word intentionality. The word intentionality. That is the key word. If you are going to save your marriage, both of you must be intentional, not one person. My wife always says marriage is too heavy for one person to carry. You just being the right person is not enough. You need two people that are the right people. In case you are here, you're watching me, and you're single, in case there are single people that are watching this, the same thing applies. You can't just desire to have a great marriage. You must pick someone else that desires to have a great marriage. I see single people make that, or young people make that mistake all the time. Say, I had a dream for the kind of marriage I wanted. I had the desire for the kind of marriage I wanted. I did everything right that I needed to do. I prayed, I fasted. I told them, you did everything right except picking the right person. Because the person that is with you must be that's intentional as well. The Bible said two cannot walk together except they be agreed. Amos chapter 3 and verse 3. Two cannot walk together except they agree. That means they have to be in agreement for them to work together. That is so amazing. It takes intentionality. You know why I like that scripture? Two cannot work together except they be agreed. You know why? Because if two is working together, taking a walk together, and they're not in agreement to work together, what is going to happen is that they will naturally drift apart. That's what's going to happen. Two people can't continue working together except it's intentional. If it's not intentional, what's going to happen is that they will drift apart. That's the natural sequence. That's the natural occurrence that will happen when two people are working together. They will drift apart. Their interests will go apart separately. Life will happen to them. They will grow apart. People don't break up or divorce overnight. They divorce over time. Marriages don't fail overnight, it fails over time. That means it takes the conscious, continuous neglect of certain things over a period of time before it fails. That is what happens. So no marriage fails overnight. It fails over time. The cracks would have been there and would have been left to be there. And before you know it, one day they've drifted apart so far that they cannot come together. So the key word is intentionality. Can we all say that word together? Everybody watching me, can we say it together? One, two, go. Intentionality. Very crucial, very important word. All right. Two cannot work together except they be agreed. So that story just touched me so much because that is what it takes to save your marriage in 2025. Be intentional about certain things. And I want to share a few things you can do to be intentional. Now, let me say this here again at this point. The way love goes, there is emotional love and there's intentional love. And I always say it, I must have shared it last time I came. Emotional love is when you're doing all the right things, but you're not doing it consciously. You're just doing it out of excitement. You're doing it because there's a new person in your life. You're doing it because this marriage is new. You're doing it because you are in love. But as life goes on and the pressures of life comes up, you need to move from emotional love to intentional love. That means you need to get to the stage where you are doing those things, but this time you're doing it more intentionally. Okay? So we normally say marriage has three stages. There's emotional high, there's the emotional low, and there's the intentional emotional high. Okay? I will explain. Emotional high, boy meets girl, you meet this fine woman, you meet this fine man, and somehow you're blinded by love. When they say love is blind, it's true. You're blinded by love. You're only seeing their positives. You guys are doing everything right, not consciously. You're doing it because you're excited. You see, love is a drug of its own. Love is a drug of its own. So you're excited, you are energized. You're doing all the right things. Because I don't think any two people just marry themselves, they're doing something. You're all doing the right things. You're making the right calls, you're showing up for each other. That euphoric stage, okay? Because there are different kinds of love, so I'm just using it random. That euphoric kind of love and euphoric stage usually lasts around 6 months to 2 years. In fact, most time nowadays it doesn't even get to 2 years, 6 months to 1 year. So after a while, that fades, and the two people now feel stuck. They are wondering, what on earth am I doing with this guy? Some even divorce and go and marry another person, not knowing that they will get to this stage again with whoever they marry. When that emotional high is gone, and you're not experiencing emotional low, what you need to do is to come back with intentionality, intentional emotional high. You move from emotional love to intentional love. So a few things you can do if you are a married couple to strengthen your love and save it from, the crisis that is going around everywhere. Number one is there are 5 E's. There are 5 E's, letter E. 5. Number one is evaluation. Evaluation. Oh, many couples have never heard of something called a family vision. Evaluation. Evaluation helps both of you assess where you are. You assess where you are. You appraise how well you're doing. Evaluation is important. Every big company, every great organization have what they do call appraisal. That's the only way they know if the person employed is doing what they are called to do, is meeting their target. Evaluation, that's the first E. It's important for every couple. We're in February, so the year is still new. If you have not done this already for your year, please, every couple watching me, make sure you do it, if possible, this weekend. Sit down together. Some people even go on a kind of a vacation. They go away from their normal place and normal routine and the children and sit down to do evaluation of their year. Some do it, on the dinner table. in the house when everybody's gone to bed or something. Some just do it randomly, maybe in the car or in the house. But you see, the more serious you take it, the more results you get from it. Some people actually travel and sit down and do it like a job, appraisal, evaluation. So they evaluate how their last year was in every area. All right, they evaluate it. So how did we do financially as a family? How did we do, in terms of fulfillment in the marriage? Then how are we doing in terms of our future? So there are three F's there: finances, fulfillment, and future. Those are the kind of things to discuss. So how did you do financially last year? Bring out all your income. So okay, this is what we earned. And this is what we spent. This is what our cost of living or whatever, our projects. This is how we did. We evaluate. Then we evaluate fulfillment. This marriage, did we fight all through the year? If you fought all through last year and you're not going to do anything different this year, listen, you cannot continue fighting throughout the year. Some people think quarreling and fighting has no impact. It does. It does. Statistics have shown that if you have 5 negative interactions to 1 positive interaction, that marriage is not likely to work. It's not going to last. So there are statistics to all these things. You can't keep fighting and quarreling. If you keep doing that, you will keep drifting apart because the woman will be put in a nagging mode, in a negative mode all the time. The man will be in a avoiding mode or avoidance mode all the time. Men's reaction to stress is running away. That's what the Bible tells us, that if you marry a contentious woman, he will run to the roof or to the wilderness. So you cannot continue. So you evaluate the fulfillment. This marriage, how are we doing? All right, how are we doing in terms of happiness, fulfillment, alignment, things like that? Evaluation. You evaluate fulfillment, and you evaluate the future. What are our plans for 2025? What are the plans we have? What are the things we want to achieve? You see, if you've not written it down, or you've not at least agreed together that is what we are working towards, this is what we are trusting God for, then you're not yet. You see, your dreams are an important part to keep you together. When your dreams are in alignment, I don't know if we've shared this when we've been there, but there's nothing I and my wife have agreed about that has not come to pass. One of the beauty of marriage is having a prayer partner. The way we say it is that if you marry wrong, you get a prayer point. If you marry right, you get a prayer partner. So one of the blessings of marriage is that you have a prayer partner. It's a one which is 1,000, two which is 10,000. Say two are better than one. They have a great word for labor. Say if two of you shall agree as touching anything that you ask, say you are going to get it. So it is so much power in agreement. So come together. There's nothing I'm have agreed about that we've not received. Whether it's in terms of our finances, we have goals for every year. This is how much we want to make. This is how much we want to have in investment. This is how much we want to have in savings. This is how much we want to have. This the children's school fees. This kind of school we want them to go. We believe God and we agree. Sometimes in that discussion, she can be like, I want them in this school, and we'll check the prices, be like, that might put us under pressure. Then we say, we want this school. So we have that evaluation about the future. It's important. There's nothing we've agreed about. When we got married, in fact, before we got married, we agreed how many kids we were going to have, and we named them. They had names. Our kids had names before our wedding day. And we had exactly that amount of kids in that order that we wanted them with those names. We agreed how much money we wanted to have. That's the kind of money we have. We agreed, and where we want to live. Where we want to live, the area we want to live, the kind of house we wanted. I can go on and on. I don't just want to bore you, but there's nothing we've agreed about that has not come to pass, except we've not agreed about it. So that's the benefit of the evaluation. You are looking together and saying, what are the things we want to see in 2025? You must agree. Your dreams is one of the things that keeps you together. The dreams you share together. All right, evaluation. And like I said, it can cover 3 major areas: finances, fulfillment in the marriage, and then future. We're checking how we're doing in everything. Our health dreams, what are our plans, to keep fit this year, to rest more this year as a family, to spend more family time. You do an evaluation. Very, very important. That's the first E, evaluation. All right? If you need to take time out to go and do it, if you need to travel to go and sit down and do it, bring all your income for the year. Look at it. Can we do better? How can we do better? Things like that. Okay. The next E that will bring both of you together as a family is entertainment. Entertainment. This one might look light, but it's not light. You see, people bond over things they enjoy. That's why alcoholics bond over beer. Alcoholics must go to beer parlor. I hope there are no alcoholics watching me. And if you're an alcoholic, don't worry. God will set you free if you want, if you're ready. But you see, people that drink know that drinking with your drunkard friends is more important than just drinking alone at home. So the people bond over what they enjoy. It's a crucial way of bonding. So entertainment and enjoyment is part of how you save your marriage. What things do both of you enjoy together? If you, when you were not married, when you were dating, you had things you enjoyed together. But what happens when people get married? They just focus on bills, focus on responsibilities, and stop enjoying things together. If you guys drink pepper soup together when you were single, go back to drinking pepper soup. Look for a decent place though. Go back to the things you enjoy, things you did together, entertainment together. It bonds you. I can never forget that woman that said the start of her husband going to beer parlor and all that drinking pepper soup and that she will make the pepper soup for him at home. She will buy the drinks for him at home and everything that she will not, you will not. So the woman was shocked. The man got home one day, there was pepper soup, he drank pepper soup, there was drinks, he took the drinks, and the woman was happy, he's not gonna go anywhere. And after he did everything, he took his keys and was still going. She said, "Why are you still going?" He said, "Because my friends are there. My friends are there. It's not the pepper soup that makes us to go there. It's not the drinks." By the way, I hope I'm not promoting alcoholism. I'm just trying to tell you that when people do something they enjoy together. So something as simple as watching a movie together, you might think it's a small do. It's not. It's not. Trust me. Laughter, entertainment, people bond over it. Satan knows it. That's why he puts people in those groups where they discuss certain things. So, what are the things both of you enjoy? Go back to it. It might be something as watching a series together. It might be something like watching a movie together. All these things might require adjustment on one person's side. Maybe you don't like kind of movie your husband wants to watch, or you don't like kind of thing. You don't like sports. You don't like all this movie. Women the kind of movies and series that women like. They talk too much. Men, we like where they shoot gun. If I give you 5 minutes, if you start a movie, you have nobody has shot anybody. As this are not serious. Someone must shoot somebody, or is threatening to shoot somebody. But women don't mind the one that they talk from morning to night. No, please. But you see, my wife loves Christmas movies. So every Christmas, if I even when it's not Christmas, I've started to enjoy watching it because we need to do something we both enjoy. There's bonding over it. Go back to it. Everybody here that is married, there are things you both enjoyed when you were dating. But the parents was okay, so he will go at 3 a.m. to her house and she will make coffee for him. They'll sit down in the dining table and talk at 3 a.m. I mean, I was shocked myself. But I said that you guys have to go back to that because he was saying, "No, I don't want to wake her up at 3 or 4 a.m." She said, "I've never complained. Wake me up because you must do something you both enjoy. It might be taking walks together. It might be going to the gym together, but something both of you enjoy. It's important you both share in the entertainment or enjoyment." Okay. Number 3, experiences and experiments. All right. Under E, experiences and experiments. Try something new together. Try something new together. There is a thrill, there's a bonding that comes from the thrill of doing something new together. Very important. It looks small, but these are things everybody can apply. Can you guys learn a new game together? Can you get a new hobby together? Can you move to a new part of town together? Can you travel together? Something both of you are learning afresh for the first time, something new, a new experiment, new experience. All right. It just has a way it bonds a couple together. So the same old, everybody gets bored. Everybody gets bored with the same old, same old. So bring some fresh life, something new into your marriage. It can be a new game you guys learn. It can be how to use an app. It can be something you guys didn't know before how to do. All right, learn. Number 4, education. Education. Learn something together. Education and enlightenment. Learn something together. Listen very carefully. One of the ways people drift apart is mentally and intellectually. Mentally and intellectually. You'll be amazed. See, when you drift apart mentally, it means your thinking is no more in alignment. And I'm telling you, when your thinking is totally different, your talking will be different. And that's how God scattered the people in Babel. Just change their tongue. They could not communicate. They could not see things from the same point of view. They just knew there was no need for us to even hang out together. You will be amazed how fast a marriage will break when there's disparity and gap in the mental level of both parties. This is why sometimes you see rich people don't want their kids to marry somebody that they feel is not as well to do. Sometimes you notice things like that. Sometimes too, people that are not so well to do also are afraid to allow their kids to marry somebody very rich because it's beyond discrimination. Their mindsets, their thinking, so far apart, so far apart, so far apart. And when you're thinking with someone is so far apart, you can't be in agreement, you can't be in alignment because you just see everything differently. Somebody is seeing vacation as a luxury, another person is seeing vacation as a necessity. Somebody is seeing, some things as comfort, another person is seeing some things as basic, So the disparity is there. Somebody is saying, let the kids go to a private school or to this college. Somebody saying, no, education is not that important. So it's important both of you are learning together. You'll be amazed. All right. When you learn together, it makes your mindset be at the same level. All right. So learn things together. Learn things together. Thank God both of you are in, I don't know if both of you are in this program, but, attend the same church, things like that. You are hearing the same thing. You can never underestimate the power of hearing the same thing. When you're hearing the same thing, then you are talking from the same level. You're not talking from two, worlds. You're talking from the same level because the culture is almost the same. You are hearing the same thing. All right. So learn something together. Go do a course together. Read a book together. Listen to a message together. Read a book together. Learn something together. Go for a conference together. That is so powerful. You are hearing the same thing. And you see, what can we learn together? Anything. Some of you are at the stage where you should be learning about investment. So two of you should sit down, do an investment course or watch some videos on investing. Because when you listen to that thing, by the time you're making decisions and discussing, you are talking from the same wealth of knowledge. So it can be both of you at the stage of learning about investment. So both of you might be the same stage of learning about real estate. You might be the same page of learning about retirement. Maybe that's where some of you are, where you should be learning now, studying what's the best plan to have for retirement. Some of you are at the stage where you should be learning about parenting. Maybe you're a new couple or you just have young kids. Most of us, we are winging parenting. We're not learning about what works. What works. So my wife will be reading books on parenting because our kids are growing now. They used to be very small where you just tell them sit down, they sit down. Now they are growing, their own personality is developing. So we're not taking for granted. So we're reading books. When she reads one, she shares. When I read one, I share. Learn things like that. So you're sharing, maybe it might be clips, video clips you're sharing with each other, hearing the same thing. All right? Hearing the same thing. Very, very important. So if you at the stage you should be learning about menopause, you're learning about aging, the changes that happen in your body when you get old. You're learning about dieting, about nutrition, but learn together. It helps the bonding. And lastly, it can be engagement. Engagement. This is talking about serving together. Serving together. If you're watching me, you're not too old to serve, either in your church or in your community or in a group or your neighborhood. Serve together. There's something about two people having a bigger goal than just the two of them. It helps the bond. It has helped I and my wife a lot, or my wife and I a lot. Us having a ministry and a calling together that we do together, we're just in each other's faces. We're talking all the time. We're planning all the time. We're corroborating and collaborating all the time. It helps. It helps a great deal. Do something, get us serve together. You're not too old to serve in your church, trust me. Ask Pastor Chris, ask Pastor Yemis. There might be something, or your HOD, or the head of your unit, or there's somewhere a hand is needed. When both of you serve together, even if it's a church, you might not be in the same unit, but the fact that both of you are workers, already you're on the same page. It goes a great deal, it makes a great impact. All right. So with these 5 E's, I believe it's possible to save your marriage in 2025.